All right, as we begin our practice, we're going to start in mountain pose. Really just grounding the feet at the four corners of the feet, standing tall. We can bring our hands to heart center and extend them. Let's take a stretch to the right and to the left, really feeling that pull on the right side. And let's take a small back bend, really opening up the chest. Swan dive forward, extend, and forward fold. You can really stretch out your feet. Let's walk them out, really feeling those hamstrings. And reverse swan dive. Go back into forward fold, extend. We're going to step back into plank, really stacking those shoulders over our wrist. Chaturanga to up dog. We'll step back into downward dog. We can stretch our right leg up, really opening up that hip. We can drop the ankle down. And we'll bring that foot into the center of the right hand, into high lunge. Let's drop that knee down and we can go into low lunge and press back into half splits. You can just find a nice little flow here, really alternating through half splits and low lunge. We can bring that leg back and do a couple cat-cows, warm up that spine. Exhale into cow, inhale into cat. Exhale, inhale. And let's sit back, push our bum to our heels into child's pose. We can maybe thread an arm through, really loosening up those shoulders. Thread our right arm through our left armpit. And we'll tuck our toes back under and go into downward dog. You can step or float up into forward fold, reverse swan dive, forward fold, extend into monkey. Let's step back into plank, stacking those shoulders, chaturanga, up dog. Step back into downward facing dog. We can float that left foot up, drop that heel back down, opening up the left hip. And bring that foot up to the left hand into high lunge. We can extend our arms up, drop that right knee down into low lunge, and find your nice flow again. Take this as slow or as fast as you'd like. Really just stretching out those hamstrings, getting ready for the splits later. Flowing with your breath. And we'll do another little round of cat-cow. Exhale cat, or exhale cow, inhale cat. Exhale, inhale, and sit back into child's pose. You can make this an active stretch. Let's go into dolphin, really stretching out those shoulders again, feeling the difference in our hamstrings. You may need to walk your feet forward or further back. Let's float our left leg up and drop that heel. Go up, lift your arms up into downward dog. You can float or walk back into forward fold. Sweep those arms up. Let's gather ourselves back into mountain pose, feeling our blood flow. We can forward fold, step back into plank. Chaturanga, up dog, keeping those thighs off the ground. And we'll press back into downward facing dog, lift that right leg up into the air, drop that heel back. And we can even drop it down to the ground into wild thing, feeling that stretch in our abdomen. And do the other side for wild thing, really feeling that stretch, lengthening the front of your body. And we'll go back into downward facing dog. Lift that right leg up into the air, bringing it to the inside of the right hand, dropping back into low lunge. Maybe we can take a small back bend. Let's drop our left arm to our forearms and reach back with our right arm and grab that left foot if we can, really opening everything up. Back into half splits. Let's lower down into full splits, trying to square off those hips. We can bring that back leg and wrap it around into cow face pose. Try to get those knees stacked over one another, sitting tall, lengthening our spine. And we can bring the left arm over the right into eagle arms and stretching them up, feeling the difference in the shoulders. And then we can grab our hands and clasp them behind our back, stretching them back, opening up those shoulders and chest. We can go over into Kundasana 1 if we're able to, or maybe just try for a side crow. As we come back, we'll be in tabletop position, do a couple cat-cows, really just releasing that spine, sitting back into child's pose, and pressing back into downward dog, walking out those legs if you need to. Lifting up that left leg into the sky, stretching, floating it up to the left hand, down into low lunge, doing a small back bend. We can come down onto our right forearm, reaching that left arm back to our foot, really opening up everything, letting your knees drop to the sides. Go back into half splits and take a full split if you're able to. Squaring off those hips. You can use a block if you need to. Let's bring that back leg, wrap it around into cow face pose on the other side. Crown is tall. You can wrap the right arm over the left into eagle arms, stretching up, feeling the difference in those shoulders. Bringing the arms back, behind the back, clasping them if you can. You can use a strap if not. Coming onto our other side in Kundasana 1, or A, or maybe a side crow, Parsva Bakasana. Couple cat-cows to release that spine, making sure to counteract these back bends that we're doing. Relaxing in child's pose for a moment. Let's sit tall in hero's pose for a moment, gathering ourselves. We can stretch up into camel pose, really feeling that stretch in the front of our hips, through our abdomen and our shoulders. You can go into reclined hero's pose. If this is too hard on your knees, you can sit up. Or if you're fine, you can do the full reclined position, arms overhead for a fuller, deeper stretch. Let's just relax here for a moment, gathering our breath, slowing everything down, feeling the stretch in our thighs, listening to our body. How does our back feel? How do our legs feel? Are we warmed up? Does anything hurt? Let's come back up to our forearms to release from this stretch. You can walk your legs out from under you. Gather your balance on your butt and we'll come into a boat pose, legs extended or bent. Just make sure that your spine is straight. You don't need to be fully lengthened. Now let's do a couple rolls. On the third roll, we'll come to a balance. This is the third. And we'll lower back down, really just massaging that spine. Have your fingertips brush the backs of your ankles, and we'll do a couple hip raises in bridge pose. Do a third hip raise, stretching out those hips and spine. You can clasp your hands under your back and walk your shoulders under. Experiment with lifting a leg up, finding that strength and stability. Maybe roll your ankle around, really stretching out your toes and ankles. You can lower your hips back down, grab your knees to your chest, rolling side to side, really just massaging that spine. Let's bring those legs over our head into plow pose. If this is too much of a stretch for you and your toes do not come over to touch the ground, you can use a block or a blanket or a pillow. You can drop those knees down or keep them extended. We can lift up our legs into shoulder stand. Maybe experiment with some different leg shapes, splits, stag legs, maybe lotus or half lotus. You can bring feet together in Baddha Konasana. Just finding stability. And slowly lower down one vertebrae at a time, coming to a seated boat position, Navasana. You can extend the legs or keep them bent if you'd like. Just lengthening that spine. You can grab your toes to pull you closer if you'd like. Let's lower back down. Let's bring our right knee to our chest and alternating left to right, just giving a nice little stretch. You can straighten your legs, do some scissors, and just pulling your leg closer to you. You can also use a strap if you'd like. And let's push up into full wheel pose. The key to this is to keep your arms straight. You can have your legs further out if you'd like. It doesn't matter how close your legs are to your head. You just want your arms fully straight. You can rock back and forth, side to side. Experiment with pushing a leg up to the sky and slowly lower back down. Let's relax here while our blood flow goes back to normal, reaches the tips of our toes and the crown of our head. Can bring our knees into our chest, hugging ourselves, just massaging that spine a little bit, rolling from side to side, just giving our back some love. We've done a lot of back bends. Can take a couple rolls until we come to a seated position. We'll come onto all fours and down into downward dog. Float or step into forward fold, reverse swan dive, and swan dive forward to forward fold. Step back into plank pose, lower down, chaturanga, up dog, and pressing back into downward dog. You can float your right leg up and sweep it through into pigeon pose. The goal is to have that calf parallel to the top of your mat. You can come down, onto your forearms or extend all the way, folding over that right leg. Trying to keep the hips square. You can place a block under that right hip if you are able to not get that calf parallel. And go back into mermaid, grab that left ankle. If you're able to grab it grab your hands to your feet for a deeper back bend you can. You can also use a strap for this. Coming onto all fours, back into child's pose. Just giving ourselves lots of relaxation between these deep stretches. Let's come onto our forearms into dolphin pose and stretch out those calves. Walk our legs up for Pinchamayurasana. You can kick up until you find that balance. Sometimes this doesn't always happen. Just do a little stag leg, whatever you'd like. Coming back into dolphin. And down for a low plank, still on our forearms. Shoulders are stacked over our elbows. Back is a straight line. And coming down onto our knees for baby bakasana, baby crow. Trying to find strength to push our face away from the ground. Let's just stretch out our wrists. We've done a lot for our wrists today, putting a lot of pressure on them for our deep back bends. And let's step back into downward facing dog. Float or walk to forward fold, reverse swan dive, and forward fold. And stepping back into plank, taking our flow to up dog, pressing through those wrists to downward facing dog. Floating our left leg up and forward into pigeon pose. Squaring off those hips, trying to get that front leg parallel to the top of the mat, going down onto our forearms or fully folding over that left leg. We can walk ourselves back up, grabbing that back leg into mermaid pose. Feeling this stretch, you can use a strap if you'd like. Trying to possibly maybe go a little bit deeper if we're able to, but not pushing ourselves. Let's go back into dolphin pose on our forearms, stretching out those shoulders, getting ready for Pinchamayurasana. Doing a couple kicks, trying to find that balance in the center. We may get it, we may not. That's all right. I'm gonna fall out of mine. And that's all right. Don't be afraid to fall. Let's just relax here for a moment. Relaxing our muscles. Breathing deeper and deeper. Maybe doing another back bend if we're able to. Straightening our legs into staff pose. And slowly coming back down. Let's relax here for a moment. You can bring your feet together in butterfly pose or Baddha Konasana. Palms facing upwards. Slowing that breath. We've done lots of inversions, lots of back bends. Let's just roll our legs over to the left side, giving ourselves a small, easy twist. Just massaging that spine a little bit. Relaxing. We can bring our knees over to the right side, keeping our shoulders square on the ground, just twisting that lower back a little. And come back up onto all fours, finding a position for seated hero pose. Peeling those calves away from the thighs, stretching up, giving ourselves a little stretch from side to side. Coming into an active or relaxed child's pose, we can keep our arms active if we want that stretch in our shoulders, or really just relaxing down, keeping our neck loose, pressing our bum to our heels. You can spread apart your knees and let your body drop in between your legs. Let's just relax again. Come back into a reclined position. Your legs can be straight out in front of you, or you can have them in Baddha Konasana. Lotus, half lotus, whatever is comfortable for you. Keeping your palms facing upwards, finding your breath. Maybe you need to adjust. Stretch out those ankles a little bit, wiggle your fingers, lengthen your legs. What is your body telling you? You can bring one leg over the other and do a small spinal twist. Really stretching, massaging that spine. Coming over to our left side, you can slowly walk your way up. Maybe come into a seated position, into half lotus or full lotus, or just crossing your ankles the opposite way you normally do. Listening to your body, feeling how your muscles feel different, feeling how your back feels different. Namaste. Thank you.